So this is my Hoover Convertible 707. First convertible I've ever gotten of my own. And if you don't know much about it, this, number one, is one of the ugliest things ever made. In fact, it was so ugly I had to have it. Because just, you know, the yellow and green pattern, it just screams the time period, and then the green base and the yellow hood. It's overall just beautiful. So this I got from a guy who bought a house that was an estate sale, and it had everything in there, and the sister of the wife that owned it wanted nothing to do with it, so he got everything in there. And this was in there, and it had the attachments with it, which I have down in my garage, and I haven't cleaned them yet. And to be honest, I'm not really going to use them much because there's not really much suction on this anyway. But, yeah, it came with all the attachments, which are really only like two. It has one that's a mix between a upholstery tool and a dusting brush. And then there's a crevice tool and one wand. And then the hose has kind of like half a wand on there. But anyway, it's pretty cool. I did not think it would clean up this well, and as you can tell, there's pretty much no scratches on this thing. There's a couple of marks. There are a few scratches right there you can see on the hood, but that's about it. Overall, it's pretty mint. And I'll flip it over so you can see the tag on it. Let's see, is it? Oh, it's right here. Okay. Hoover model 707. And then there's your tag right there, which, that's a 70, so I don't know if this is the 22nd day of the first month of 1970, and I can't read that, but I'm sure somebody like Rick Hoover will tell me. And the base plate cleaned up pretty well. I didn't polish it. And long story short, on this machine, when I got it, it was filthy. It smelled like old houses. It didn't really stink, like cigarettes or anything. I could tell they definitely did smoke at one point, because it had that thick brown dust, in like the cracks and on the motor, but it didn't smell, like dogs or anything like I was expecting it to, so. And the wheels, as you can see, are impressively mint on this. There's only a few marks on them, so you can tell they never really took this out on the concrete. You know, they treated it well. Again, same thing here. So for $10, I just couldn't pass it up. And then I'll show you the inside. I greased up everything. It looks like there's a gnat in my room, but I greased up everything. It runs great. I took the felt seal off of here, and I filled it. I don't know if you can see it, but I filled it with silicone. You can kind of see that clear coat that's in there, and that works as a much better gasket, in my opinion, than the felt kind of whatever. In my opinion, I don't know. I would just think that a fabric wouldn't seal as well, but the gasket around here seemed to remain in good shape. The fan is in outstanding condition. I had to get new belts for it, of course. Roller is original. I think the brush strips are too. If you look at the strips, you can't see too well, but they aren't super worn down. They're pretty decent, so. I just took it apart, gave it a good wash, and repacked the bearings here. I didn't repack the lower bearing in the motor because to get to that, you have to drill the rivets out. Or you have to have the special grease gun that you can kind of get in there and grease it with, and I didn't do that, so maybe in the future I'll do that. And then I lubricated the top bearing, which is a felt pad almost that you soak, which is interesting, but it works. And then this right here, if you didn't know, this is where you slide your hose in right here, and then this opens in there, and then the hose goes around everything except the belt. So you do lose a little bit of suction, I would think, at least from the belt, but it's not like this would give that impressive of performance anyhow. And one final thing about this was just coated in a, almost like a restaurant-style grease. This was never used in a restaurant, you can tell. But some people just, they never shampoo their carpets, so you'll see it looks like it was used in a restaurant. So this was all covered in this brown, thick grease that was just like mud almost. Same thing all the way up here. Up into the roller housing it was. In the fan housing, it was totally coated. That's where it was the worst, was in the fan housing. That was really thick. I had to use a screwdriver almost as like a paint scraper to scrape all this out. I spent probably about an hour just scrubbing this alone. The bag tube up in here was also pretty bad. That did not take as long to clean out. And the bag, it's pretty clean now, but it still has a little bit of a smell, but it's not bad. So one day I'll throw it in the washing machine or something. What I did is I just took a sponge, because I didn't want to damage this vinyl, and I took a sponge and some lavender soap stuff and scrubbed it pretty well, and then soaked it. And then I'll open up this bag here, which has the snaps. And I'm not going to undo the bottom one because this is ridiculously hard to get back in place. But as you can see, I'm using HEPA F&G bags in here, which the F&G bags are much bigger than the outer bag on this are, or this is, because it's designed to be super smooth or slick or whatever, slim. It's designed to be folded in like this, and that's just how it looks. But I kind of pull it out a little more just to let more airflow get through it. But anyhow, let me snap these back in. And if you're, and yeah, this snap kind of gave out on that, but that's okay. There we go. This model is a B-line Hoover, and how they sold these convertibles is they were sold in the A, meaning the most expensive, the premium, the B, which would be the deluxe, and the C line, the standard or the economy model, low end, and however you want to put it. Basically, the way I know this is a B line is because, number one, the cord is a little longer. It has a 4-position height adjustment. You can see you got shag, high, normal, which I leave it on normal, and then low. The C line only had the low and high, and then the A line, I believe, also just had the 4-position. It has the wraparound bumper, which only the B and A line did. And it has the snaps, which only the C and some of the B line did. So none of the A's had them. Some of the B's had a zipper, and some of the A's had a zipper too. But anyhow, yeah, this is a B-line Hoover. So, and the other thing too, no handle grip. It's just a metal thing, which is kind of annoying. But anyhow, that's enough blabbing for now. Go ahead and give her a run here. And as you'll hear, it sounds really smooth. It's ridiculously quiet. And whenever I have the belt on there, no bearing noise. But if you take the belt off, it has a little bit of bearing noise, and I'm not too sure why that is, but okay. It sounds really smooth, so. So yeah, and I greased up everything in terms of the handle fork, greased this, so everything just moves really smooth. It's almost like new again. So this is definitely, I love these convertibles now. This is another one of those machines, just like the Lux back there. I never liked them until I got one. So if you find one of these, I would definitely look into getting it. Recommend looking into getting it. It sounds beautiful. It has that super slow running motor, and it's ridiculously quiet too. No sound dampening foam in there. It's just naturally that quiet, so yeah, and it's definitely a keeper. Even with this super ugly bag, I'll definitely look for an A line or a higher end B line. Like what I'm looking at right now, or wanting at least, is a Hoover Convertible 719, which that one has the zipper, but it's a B-line model, and it also has a handle grip, interestingly enough. So it's almost an A-line. I would consider that one an A-line, but every Hoover know-it-all out there that I've talked to says it's a B-line. So that one has a blue plastic housing, and then a white metal housing, and then the handle's white, and then the bag's blue. And it says Hoover in white lettering, so I'll definitely be on the lookout for one of those, because that's definitely my favorite. I just love this classic hood design. Everything about it, beautiful. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed. That's my convertible for you.